All right, guys, this is some bonus information. So this is not something that I normally teach, but everybody's home. Maybe you want something else to learn. This is usually a favorite topic. It is called the Pythagorean Theorem. So here's what it is. It is the way to find a missing side of a right triangle. It only works with right triangles. So if you see here, we have a triangle. I'm a fabulous artist, really I am. However, you're going to notice that my triangles, the lines aren't exactly straight. My right angles aren't exactly 90 degrees. Don't worry about that. Really, I'm a great artist, honestly. We're just going to imagine that my lines are straight and that this is a right angle, which means it's 90 degrees. Right angles make a nice L. So you can tell when you have a right triangle because it makes a nice L. And to be sure, what we like to do is draw this little box in the corner, which means no matter how it looks to you, that is a right angle. It's 90 degrees. So if that box is there, even though it looks a little obtuse, it's still 90 degrees. I just, I'm an awesome artist, but this time it's just a little bit off. Okay, anyway, so we're going to label our sides as A, B, and C. There's 3 sides to a triangle. We're going to give them letter names, A, B, and C. A and B, interchangeable. Does not matter which one's A and which one's B, but C is important. C is always opposite from the right angle. So wherever your right angle is, opposite that is C, and this name for C is called the hypotenuse. Very long name. My 7th grade math teacher taught me that anybody who gets high on pot is an enus. Don't do it, kids. So it is a hypotenuse, and that is the longest side. So here's the formula for Pythagorean theorem. What we have is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So we've learned about exponents, we've learned about things being squared to the 2nd power, and this is going to help us find a missing angle. So if we come down here to my example, I have a side that is 3 meters, a side that is 4 meters, and I want to find out how long is this side that I don't know. So the first thing I need to do is figure out what is A, what is B, and what is C. Remember I said A and B are interchangeable. Doesn't matter which one is which, but C is important. So opposite of my right angle, this is my side that is C. So I know that C is missing. So you know what? I'll call this side A. I'll call this one side B. If I had switched those, it wouldn't matter. So now what I'm going to do is I always start by writing my equation. Always. Because math is not just for you, it is for other people. People need to be able to follow what you're doing. People need to be able to understand your thought process. If you start with this equation, anybody else who speaks math knows exactly what you're about to do. So don't just start by multiplying some numbers together. You have to speak the same language as other math people. So start with your equation. Now what we're going to do is substitute. I said that A is 3 meters, so instead of A, I'm going to write 3. So it's 3 to the 2nd power. I said that B is 4 meters, so instead of B, I'm going to write 4 to the 2nd power. And then for C, we don't know what that is, but whatever C is going to be in my formula, it's going to be to the 2nd power. We just don't know what C is yet. So some things I know, my perfect squares. 3 squared is 9. 4 squared is 16. And we still don't know what C is. I can add 9 plus 16 together. That will give me 25. And now I know that 25 is equal to C squared. But I don't want to know C squared. I want to know C by itself. So I need to do an inverse operation that gets rid of a squared. What is the inverse that gets rid of a squared? And that is a square root. So what I'm going to do to get rid of this square is I'm going to take the square root, because squares and square roots cancel each other out. If I take the square root of one side, you got to do the same thing to the other side. Take the square root of the other side. What is the square root of 25? It is 5. So 5 equals C. So that means in this triangle, one side length is 3 meters, one side length is 4 meters, and this side that we just figured out is 5 meters. Now some people might say, hey, the square root of 25 is also negative 5, because that is true. Negative 5 times negative 5 is also positive 25. But could something be negative 5 meters? No, there's no such thing as a negative distance. Distance cannot be negative. It has to always be positive. So in this situation, the square root of 25 being negative 5 doesn't make any sense. We're not going to use it. So we're only going to use the positive answer, which says that the length of this last side would have to be 5 meters. All right, there's some other variations. We could take it up a notch, but that is enough to get you started on some bonus information on the Pythagorean Theorem. All right, I'm going to see you next time. Make sure you guys subscribe, and don't forget to click that post notifications bell so you guys can be the first ones to see when I post a new video. That way you can be ahead of all your classmates. All right, see you next time.